Hi, this is my second video for this informational system, medical informational system for a consultory. I think it's translated consultory. I'm not sure how it's translated, so I will thank any corrections. I will thank any corrections in the comments. Okay. For now, the generic name I put it into this system or solution, it's medical informational system. It's really the first thing I have to do is uploading this on GitHub, of course. I'm going to do that right now. This is the first thing I'm going to do today. And then I have to review what's left for the version 0.1, 0.1 or 0.1. I think zero point 0.1 sounds better, but I don't know what's I know mm, I don't know what to say. Whatever. I'm going to upload this on GitHub. I think I'm going to change the language of Visual Studio first. Change language, Visual Studio. Modify Visual Studio workloads, components, and language. Language packs in the Visual Studio installer. Select the language you prefer. Follow the prompts. Changing the language. Oh, so I have to install the language. I hope I have English by default. English language pack. Visual Studio installer. Mm, mhm. Hmm. Okay, I have to install what? Another another update? Why? Okay, I'm going to do that later. Whatever, I don't have the language yet. First things I discovered, for example, I didn't want to make a table for each of these entities. Okay, so I discovered how to do that. Address, I don't want a whole table for address. So to mark this as an owned entity, okay, marking this as an owned entity makes this whole entity a compound. So the table is created um, from classes that has properties of type address will compound the whole table with all of these properties. Okay, so I will have a table with address underscore city, address underscore state, address underscore postal code, and I think it really works well for these cases, for this address money, for example. I don't want to create a table with money, actually, on it, pesos and centavos, okay. Person name, also, I don't think if, I'm not sure if this should be a component or not. I think it should be an owned entity, okay. I think this is okay. But illness, I think this one should be different. I think this should have its own section because illnesses can be shared to any patient actually. illness section. I'm going to create this section, illness section. Also, for another kind of design, I could be. Why I'm doing this is because I want every entity and class have their own methods. Okay, I don't want to create DTO classes because I think it's not actually needed to create DTO classes for a well-defined system. Okay, if you don't know exactly how your system is going to evolve, for example, if you're not sure that you're going to use entity framework or that you're going to use SQL Server and you're going to change the database to any other, I think the design of hexagonal architecture would be fit for those kind of systems where you don't know exactly how it is going to evolve, right? Because I know that this system it's going to be used the SQL Server. Honestly, I don't want that kind of flexibility that a lot of people wish. So it's okay to just have these classes, and if I'm sure that I'm going to develop this from code first approach, I don't think I have a problem. This is just in case you're exactly sure that your system is going to be made from code first approach. Okay, if you're exactly sure how it's going to evolve. If you don't know that your system is going to evolve that way, I think you should stick with a hexagonal architecture or those kind of architectures where everything is loosely decoupled. In this case, I'm strongly coupled with Entity Framework and SQL Server. So if I needed more space or something, I would need to create more SQL Server instances or something, and they have to be SQL Server instances because this doesn't have a loudly decoupled way. I think if I wanted to have my SQL Server and SQL and SQL Server options both at the same time, I think I should create, for example, consultation room service, which will handle both context. I'm not sure if I should create a MIS context SQL server and then MIS context MySQL. I don't know exactly how that work, but I would investigate future later. For now, I'm going to stick with this address, money, person name. I think this is okay. Patient, they have owned it already. Okay, they have owned it already. There's no problem with this. I would like to know how the migration is going to work right now. I know the illness is going to have another kind of. Oh, and the symptoms. The symptoms. I should create another kind of table also because symptoms can be shared to any through a lot of illnesses, right? So I think creating a enumerable symptom hasn't been found. Of course, illness also, illness section. Oh, it was updated. It updated automatically. That's cool. I didn't know that it would automatically update the namespace. Well, now I know it does, but I don't know why. I don't know if that's a default setting or not. But okay, symptom. Now I have to create the entities, the symptom section. Symptom. Okay, I think that's how it is written. I'm going to create class symptom.cs. And what a symptom has, it has a name, it has a description, of course it has an ID, public int ID, get set. Okay, symptom has a name, a description, mm, causes, cause, causes, and every illness will have a related symptom, right? Symptom section. It will have, okay, an illness will have a name, a description of the illness, and the a list of symptoms related to the illness. I think that's okay. We have the patient. I don't know. This is the startup file for the project. Here is where I get the connection string to the SQL Server Express database. Consultation room. Okay, I think this is good enough. I'm going to create the Git repository. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I have to. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to check this from my phone. Okay, doesn't matter if I show the code because it has already been used. I didn't click the start button. I really hate when I forget to click the start button because I basically um, work. I don't know how many minutes I work right now, and I can't actually did this. I should. I should buy a Pomodoro clock, I think. I don't think they're really expensive. Whatever. Name of the repository name, Medical Informational System. Description, informational system for a consultory room or even a whole or even planned to handle a whole hospital. Um, for now, just a consultory room. Of course, it would handle a whole hospital. That's really tough. This will be private, public. This is going to be public. Write my file. License. Oh, license. I have to check this. GNU General Public License. GNU Affair of an. Okay, okay. General Public License 3. I'm going to read this license. General Public License. Read that. Mm, mm, mm. Version 3. Copyleft. Hmm. License compatible only with GPL version 3. Weak copyleft, strong copylefts. Damn. This is really hard stuff. GNU Lesser General Public License. Which software license should I use? Need to work in a community. I want it simple and permissive. I care about sharing improvements. Oh, also lets people do almost anything you want with your project set distributing closed source versions. Alright, this is exactly what I want because I don't want this kind of license to be closed source. Let's take, for example, a hospital that for any reason chooses to work and fork from my project and they decide to make it closed source. I mean, obviously there are things that should be closed. For example, the uh, databases permissions, authorization, those kind of stuff. Okay, they have to be closed source, of course. But wait, this could also be potential. Hmm. For now, I have to choose this license. What if none of this works for me? My project isn't a software. There are licenses for that. I want more choices. More licenses are available. I don't want to choose a license. Here's what happens if you don't. License. When you make cryptic work, which includes code, the code is an exclusive copyright by default. Unless you include a license that specifies otherwise, nobody else can copy, distribute, or modify your work without being at risk of takedowns, shakedowns, or litigation. Once the work has already contributors to a copyright holder, nobody starts including you. Even in the absence of a license fail, you may grant some rights in cases where you publish source code at site that requires accepting terms of service. For example, you publish your source code in a public repository GitHub. You have accepted terms of service by which you allow others to view and fork your repository. Others may not need your permission if limitation exceptions to copyright apply to their particular situation. Neither site terms nor jurisdiction-specific copyright limitations are sufficient for the kind of collaboration that people usually seek on a public cloud host, such as experimentation, modification, and sharing as, for instance, by an open source license. You don't have to do anything to not offer a license. You may, however, wish to add a copyright notice and statement that you are not offering any license in a prominent place. Your project's react so that users don't assume you made an oversight. If you're going to accept others' contributions to your non-licensed project, you may wish to explore adding a contributor agreement to your project with your client so you can maintain copyright permission from contributors even though you're not granting the same. Disallowing use of your code may not be what you want intended by non-license. An open source license allows reuse of your code while retaining copyright. If your goal is to completely opt out of copyright restrictions, try a public domain dedication instead. Hmm, negotiate a private license, being your lawyer. Okay. I think this is what I care. I don't know if this project should be like this. Let people do as much anything they want with your project, like making and distributing closed source versions. I think this is cool, but I think cooler would be this license, the GPU GNU GPL version 3 sharing improvements. I mean, making this project evolve in case. I don't know if this project is going to evolve in the future, but there's some crazy stuff in the software development, so the software development community. So I think I'm going to choose that license. General public license version 3. Affero General. This is Affero General. General public license Affero. A ver, GNU Affero. Oh, okay. This is for this case in particular. Git ignore C sharp. The git ignore should be C sharp. Where is .NET, I guess. Visual Studio. .NET. No. Mm, so there's no problem. Okay. All right, now I'm going to add attack B 0.0. Initialize the project early development first stage of early development for the project 0.0 because I don't have 0.1 yet. So this is the version of the project. Also, Obsidian. I have to open Obsidian to check what's left. Alright, first things I have to do. Symptom section, it's already created. I want to make a new migration just to check if it works. .NET EF migrations script, no, .NET EF migrations at this is the problem. they they describe with migrations. What is the name of the migration? Initialize database. That's a really cool name, but I'm going to add symptom. Okay, symptom table added and owned entities. The project was fun, of course. Okay, we started. Uh, uh, we succeeded. It's an optional dependent using table sharing without any requirement share property. Hmm. It's an optional dependent using table sharing without any requirement or requiring property that could be used to identify whether the entity exists. If all nullable properties contain a null value in database, then an object instance will be created in the query. Add a required property to create instance with null values for properties to mark incoming navigation. As always, as required to always create an instance. Is an optional dependent without any required non-shared property. Of course. How can I mark those owned entities if core mark as required? Required. Okay, so that's how I make it required. So now this is required. No, this isn't required to have a. This is required. This is actually required. This also is required, and this is required too. Okay. Patient. Now I need to check patient properties. I want to mark this as required, and this is required too. And symptom table added and on it is used by an existing migration. How to date? How to update migration EF core? EF core tools documentation. EF core tools. EF database update, drop, TV context, I don't know. I don't need this. Migrations add, migrations remove, migrations script, list available migrations, self-contained. directory to use the output to output the files. Paths are related to the target directory, defaults to migrations. Two. Please review the migration for accuracy. An operation was scaffolded that may result in the loss of data. Please review the migration for accuracy. Okay, and now I have to create the .NET EF migrations script from 0 to symptom table added and owned entities to as idempotent idempotent as idempotent and output database update date 0 point version 00.sql. .NET EF migrations script from 0 to symptom table added and on identities to. And this is the file that was created for this update. If object ID, and it's really big, right? Because this includes the whole, all the migrations, all the existing migrations are here. I'm curious about what this does to the database. Of course, I don't do this kind of stuff in production environments. Only in personal databases. So for now, let's check what is going to happen. I have to execute this in SQL Server X management. I'm really curious about what is going to happen. I guess if this is idempotent, it should execute only the needed dates. Okay, it should only execute the needed migrations. But I'm not sure if, for example, if I only execute the last migration, and if in the server there is no, I'm not sure if this actually corrects or avoids the last migration if they haven't been executed in order. I'm not sure how this idempotent thing works. So I'm going to try what is going to happen. I want to know what is going to happen. Database update. Go to open this. MIS and execute. Tell me what is going to happen. Changing any part of an object name could break scripts and store procedures. Changing any part of an object name could create to break scripts and store procedures. Well, of course, but the whole. Okay, what happened? Doctor. So this. Okay, okay. This is exactly what I wanted. Professional license number, living address phone number, living address postal code. This is exactly what I wanted. Illness. We have the name, description, and patient ID. In symptom, we have name, description, causes, and illness ID, which is the related illnesses to this symptom. For example, an illness could be, wait, wait. Name, description, patient ID. Okay, I think this is okay. But an illness could be related to a lot of symptoms. So it would shouldn't this have some repetitive data? For example, if there is three illnesses with the same symptom, each one, this would create a row for each new illness, right? Hmm. Well, for now, this is okay. For now. This are all the migrations. Designer. Okay, these are the migrations. Migrations should be shared, saved. But the database update SQL. Hmm. Oh, okay. Let's just start a short break if we're doing any more. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. GNU General Public License. Well. Permissions, conditions, limitations, stability warranty. This license explicitly states that it does not provide any warranty. This license includes a limitation of liability. Source code must be available when the license material is distributed. A copy of the license and copyright notice must be included with the licensed material. Modifications must be released under the same license. When distributing the licensed material, in some cases a similar or related license may be used. Changes made to the licensed material must be documented. This kind of license is really cool if we want a really competitive environment. For example, if this license were the only available license right now, there would be a lot of competition for everything, honestly, for Google or Microsoft. I mean, if the top competition is some kind of software company, a lot of the competitors would take this would take their open source projects and would make improved versions of those, and this wouldn't and that would respect this license actually. So there will be a lot of competition around the world, but of course almost every software project is closed source for that same reason. People just don't want to compete that way. So okay, I have to focus right now. Let's see how to handle. I want to make database update SQL. I think I'm going to execute SQL files for this. So now I'm going to create a new folder which will contain the migrations SQL scripts. Doctor, patient, entities modified to have their compound entities, their owned entities as required. Added migrations changes. I want to add all of those changes. Added migrations folder and migrations SQL scripts folder. Migrations folder has the migration classes for the database. Migrations SQL scripts are generated from the migrations classes. Mm, push changes, and that's all for now. Okay, now I can work for the last changes I have to do. For example, drug, I don't have drug yet. Patient, living address, person name, consultation room. We don't have that yet. Okay. List of doctors registered. Public doctor e-collection. It should be an e-collection. Defines methods to manipulate generic collections. Should it be an e-collect? Okay, I'm going to check that first. Entity framework, e-collection, or e-enumerate. Why use e-collection or e-enumerate or list or many one relationships? Many relationships. Usually what you choose will depend on which method you need to access to. Only needs to be iterated through. E-collection for a list of it that need to be iterated through and modified. List for a list that needs to be iterated through, modified, sorted, etc. From a more specific standpoint, lazy loading comes in place with choosing the type. By default, the navigation properties in the framework come with change trackings and R proxies. In order to the type must implement e-collection. Of course, I knew that. Okay, enumerable. Of course, it doesn't have the add and remove methods. So the ideal interface for that would be e-collection, which implements the enumerable methods to access to each element of a list or array, but also I need to add and remove. I mean the mutable methods, right? So I think I'm going to use e-collection. I'm going to replace all of the enumerable for that. Enumerable doctors get set. What else? List of patients registered in the consultation room in the case of routine checks. Public e-collection. Patients. Patients for routine checks. Wait, routine checks shouldn't be to the doctor registering entities for as a personal doctor. I'll check that for the next version. Patient. It wasn't found. Client backend MIS. Entities. Patient section. Alright. Consultation room. What else? List of available drugs. Public e-collection. Drug. Available drugs. And of course, we don't have drug. We don't have the drug entity. So now I have to create a section. Drug section. Class. Drug. Now I have drug. So I have to include it. And what does a drug has? It has name, main components, requires medical note, and average cost. We start with the ID. A drug has a name, has a description, I don't know. It has a type. Okay, it has a type, right? Type description. No, I don't want type description. Uh, Main components. Hmm. Can be a collection of components. Drug component. Public average cost. It would be money. Average cost. And this would be required. What else could be the required? I'm not sure what else could be required. Drug component should be in its own table, I think. I think it's fair if it's in their own table, so I would need to create a drug component section too. And this is just to give an idea of how this project is going to evolve. Drug component section. And to make a project evolve really fast, you need to type really fast too. And to have a clear idea of how the framework works. For now, for example, I haven't touched any settings for the builder of the DB context. Okay, I haven't touched any method for that. I haven't override that method because I want to work with the default options as much as I can. When I have to, when I'm required to have a really specific business logic, at that point I would I would take the task to check which options I should use in the MIS context for the builder of the MIS context, okay? At that point, I would use it. For now, I'm trying to use all of the default methods, all of the default settings, because maybe that would be enough. And also, as this system hasn't been made for a company yet, there is no requirements of speed or something, right? First, we have to test that this system works. So for now, we have drug component, drug component. I have to make another main components, drug component. Name of the component, curate symptoms, maybe. No, I'm not sure. Cost? No, cost of the component is not something uh, medical are aware of. I think they're only aware of the name and main uses, maybe. I'm not sure. Just the name, I think that's enough. Even then, maybe drug components aren't even recorded in a database. Maybe they're only aware of the drug itself and not the component. So maybe this is okay if this isn't required. Maybe a lot of drugs are just declared by the name itself. Maybe this kind of the specification is not needed for this for medical employees. I don't remember how to tell this, but well, maybe this kind of specification is not needed. So I could very well simplify this and not create the drug component section. For now, I think this isn't needed. I think the drug name is enough because someone has to actually record all of those things. Okay. Whatever, we have drug symptom consultation room, MIS context. What else? I think this is enough. Address, money, person name. These are our own identities. MIS context, symptom section. Should this be okay? I think this is okay. Right now, changes in GitHub. Consultation room. What changes I made here? I added this. Okay. Consultation room. List of available drugs. Okay. Consultation room. Added remaining properties to consultation room. Added new entity rock. Let's push these changes and now what? This is for the version 0.1. I think I should work now the 0.2. Planet versions 0.1. And I have to go for the 0.2 version of this software. 0.3, version 0.4. Well, I have to plan the next version of this software. This version doesn't have even a HUD yet. HUD's user interface. HUD is for game development. For this project would be user interface UI. This project doesn't even have a UI, but we have that structure right now. Prepare for that. We have the pages, the client app. This is the UI side of this project, which uses React and Redux. It actually uses TSX, TypeScript React. Amazing. It already has a store. State, it defines the type of data maintained in the Redux system. Okay, I'm not going to touch any of this yet because right now my mind is currently focused on the backend side of this project. But I have to touch this very soon. I think at the version 0.3 I would start working for the user interface. Okay. So for now I'm going to focus on the backend side of this project. The main process the main process of this project. Entities. Okay. Controllers. These are going to be. This is the where forecast controller. I think I'm going to start making the controllers for this next version. Planet versions. This version initializes the backend side of the project with .NET solution focused. This is already made. This is already made. Must be .NET Core. Planet versions. Versions. This will go here. And entities will go here. And 0.1. Ah, okay, this is okay. Versions 0.1 about index objective planet versions. What will be my focus for this version? Version 0.2. This version will be focused on the backend side again, but making all of the controllers for the EF core entities. For every single entity credit, there will be a controller to add, remove, uh, and get data from there. I'm not going to put the use the update. I mean the put the put argument, put action. I'm only going to use get, post, and delete. Delete? It was delete? Del? Where? Let's see. HTTP delete. Alright, that was named HTTP delete. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Post, get, delete. These are all the HTTP. These are all the HTTP methods used. This person will be focused on the backend side again, but making all of the controllers for the F core, EF core entities. For every single entity created, there will be a controller to add, remove, and get data from there. Post, get, delete. These are all the HTTP methods used. The architecture for the HTTP communication will be REST. REST API pattern. Mm. The authentication and authorization. I'm not sure how to make any of those yet. The REST pattern actually is idempotent, or I don't remember what's the word, but it really is stateless, you know? The REST pattern should be stateless, so every single every single request made to the HTTPS server should be independent to the last request made. Okay, so for that we would use bearer tokens or something like that. I mean, the server would create a bearer token, and the client. I think I don't remember how to do that. There is also the await allows communication, but all the users created within these systems would be private. I mean, the it wouldn't be connected to the Google accounts or something like that. And I think allows to was used to make I mean allows to. Yeah, I think this is client developer simplicity while providing specific authorization flows for web application, desktop application, mobile devices, and living room devices. This specification and installations are being developed within the IETF IETF allowed working group. Is in progress effort to consolidate and many common extensions under a new name. Specs. Huh, I should read this. I should take a little time to read this. Hmm. This is for third party authentication, I think. And any hospital or consultory room, I don't think they actually want third party requirements. It's not like they're going to give any permission to Google or Twitter to authenticate for themselves. So I don't think this is really useful for my specific use case. I'm not sure. Maybe about can be also used for a closed source environment, closed closed web environment, private web environments. I'm not sure what the name is. Okay, whatever. I have to make the controllers, and for each one of these sections, there will be a controller. For example, consultation room controller. Add new class. This could be ASP.NET, MVC, API. API controller with this will be the consultation room. Consultation room controller. That's right. This is what I need. Controller base. Controller base. Okay, controller base. Okay, this is okay. ASP.NET MVC, and this needs ASP.NET Core MVC. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. It has the same. All right, let's check. Five minutes break. Perdón. Mhm, mhm. 15 seconds. Okay, enough. HTTP get, HTTP gets value. I don't have the actions right now. Controller base. But I need this controller to actually have controller. No, consultation room controller. E-collection, consultation room, consultations. Consultations. And finally the private consultation room. Private consultation. Consultation room. Consultations. This has to be a collection. And this has to be public in order to work. I'm not sure if this works actually, but well, for the gets, it'll be consultations punto to list async. No, wait. What do I get from a context? I don't remember. I mean, for example, context, the best class MIS context. What do I get from this? MIS context? MIS context. And then if I take context dot consultation room, what type of that is? Is this a DB set? DB set. I mean, this controller should be DB set. Can be used to query and save instances of consultation room. Link queue queries against DB set T entities will be translated into queries against the database. The results of a link queue query against a DB set entity will contain results returned from the database and may not reflect changes made in the context that have not been persisted to the database. For example, the results, I don't know, whatever. Well, this will not be loosely decoupled. That's a shame, but I don't want to make a whole perfect decoupled environment, honestly. I want to make a perfectly decoupled environment within my project. It's a shame, but it takes time. So I prefer to just have this, and that's it. We have TV sets, consultation room controller. So now I should be able to get consultations. Get a sync first. This has to be um, task. We have to be a sync. Consultations dot all async. Return await. No, wait. All async is not to return everything. It's to make a conditional boolean statement. I will need find get all. I don't remember which method was. It's to get everything. Consultations to list. To list async. This is what I needed. Mm-hmm. You can convert list into enumerable. There is an explicit conversion. I have to use enumerable. To enumerable? Can I use to enumerable? To array async. I can convert that implicitly. But why? You can convert implicitly client backend entities. Okay, but why I can make it implicitly? To array async, to list async, and make an explicit conversion to enumerable. Wait, this is not a string, of course. This is a consultation room. Of course, it doesn't work. This didn't work because this wasn't a string, it was a consultation room. So it makes sense. Now, for this one, make consultations. Oh, it changed automatically. That's cool. Find no first async. No, I don't want to get the first. Find async. Finds an entity with the given primary values of an entity where the given primary values is being tracked by the context. Then it is returned immediately with making a request to the database. Otherwise, a query is made to the database for an entity with the given primary primary key values. Okay, x x.id it's equal to id. So I get a consultation room. It can be deduced. X can be deduced. Okay, consultation room. Why? Parents object. Key values. Finds an entity with the given primary values. Is this right? Finds an entity with the given primary value key values. If an entity with the given primary key values is being tracked by the context, then it is returned immediately. Okay. Okay. Now my main concern with this consultation room controller is where I'm going to put this controller in use. Where I'm going to put the consultation room DB set. In the startup maybe? Add DB context, services, add DB context. This method called by the runtime. Use this method to add services to the container. This method gets called by the runtime. Use this method to configure HTTP request pipeline. Configuration. Services add DB context. There is singleton. Scoped. Add a scoped service of the type with an implementation. As scoped. Consultation room controller. Adds a scoped service to the service. The service, the factory that creates the service. Implementation factory. Implementation factory. Get the service object the specific type. Get service of IMS context. Is this good enough? And now return new consultation room controller with context. Context dot consultation room. So is it good enough? I'm not sure. The scoped at the scoped service, I don't remember which was the scoped service versus singleton C sharp. Singleton is a single instance for the lifetime of the application domain. A scoped is a single instance for the duration of the scoped request, which means per HTTP request in ASP.NET. Transient is a single instance per code request. Transient, scoped, scoped is okay, maybe. Hmm. Since they are created every time, they will use more memory and resources and can have negative impact on performance. Use this for lightweight service with little to no state. Better option when you want to maintain state with a request. Memory leaks in this service will build up over time, also memory efficient as they are created once reused everywhere. Use singletons where you need to maintain application-wide state, application configurations or parameters. Login service, caching of data is some of the examples where you can use singletons. Injecting service with different lifetime into another. Never inject a scoped and transient service into singleton service. This effectively converts the transient or scoped service into a singleton. Never inject transient services into. Oh, I didn't remember. I didn't remember that. How to inject yourself? No. EF core configuration and dependency injection. I needed this. Dependency injection. How did this work? An iLogger. We have the iLogger. The logger it's made here. Builder services. This is all the services made. Depends on iLogger, which is requests. It's not usual to use dependency injection in the chained function. Each request dependency into request in its own dependencies. The container result dependency in the graph and return the fully resolved service. This is for a logger, right? At db context, at default identity, at razor pages, configure at scoped, at scoped. Maybe dependency injection isn't needed right now. Maybe. I'm not sure. This name could be simplified? How? How could this be simplified? Ah, of course. I can remove this. There's no problem. Since this already know that the return instance will be a consultation room controller, so this doesn't need implementation factory. I'm trying to grasp this idea. Get service of type IMS content from the iService provider. Register the given context as serving in the iService collection. Get service of type IMS context from the iService provider. Inject DB set into controller EF core. I don't want the context because, I mean, maybe I should use the context actually. iResource is an interface of a service, not an object itself. So iResource is in a new object, of course. Resources.add resource, save changes, create a resource where there is links to the created objects and not to included an ID for this record because we probably set into database. Inject DB context in ASP.NET Core, concrete type or the interface. We add an DB context, okay? That's the first thing. You can't extract anything, of course. You're going to lose too much time. Don't overthink too much. DB context, instance this, entities, application DB context. I don't remember very well. I mean, dependency injection is really useful. Dependency injection, but I don't remember exactly in which file I can use that. That's the problem. I haven't touched this a few months ago. I mean, starting a whole project from EF Core. But of course, this can be done. This adds, this adds to the. I'm not sure if this already implements the. This is a TV set, of course. Implementation factory. No, I want to actually have a TV set here. So I wouldn't do this. I would use context dot consultation room. I would return this in order to have the context here. Okay? That's what I was missing actually. If I want the context of consultation room, I would get it here, right here. The problem with this is, of course, I won't have consultations room. I mean, I think it's better to just have the context itself. getting the context itself. And if I have a TV context, just a matter where dependency is on the application. For applications that don't use dependencies, including DB content instance directly with its constructor. Entity framework core does not support multiple parallel operations being run in the same DB context instance. DB context. Using DB context with dependency injection. I have this, of course. Now application DB context, and now I have application DB context. That's what I needed. All right. I think this is good enough. So I don't need this scoped thing. I just need to put the DB context here, which is the MIS context. MIS context. Put MIS context right here. I already heard the Pomodoro, but I want to finish this first. Context, main context. Main DB context. I think that's a good enough name. Main DB context. MIS context. Main DB context dot consultation room dot to list a sync, and main DB context dot consultation dot find a sync, consultation room dot find a sync. And in theory, this would have injected the MIS context, the Medical Informational System context of the database, and now I should be able to retrieve data directly from the database. All right. Of course, I don't have the processing data. I think there is not process in trying to put in post or put data in here. I think I'm not sure, but well, I'm trying to. I'll think about it later. It's time for the last break. I think this is enough for today. Never inject scoped and transient services into singleton service. Of course, this effectively converts the transient or scoped service into singleton. Never inject an ancient service into scoped service. This converts the transient service into the scoped. The singleton works for things like a logger. A logger. I think a logger could work like that. Scoped services. Better option when you want to maintain a state within a request. Alright, this is cool. Yeah, of course, this makes sense. Oh, out. I think I should make the interfaces to make the unit test databases. It's such a hassle to make the interfaces for a database, because you have to make later an instance of a mock database to make the unit testing, but it really pays off later. It really pays off the time to make unit tests for a database, I think. I think I should add the unit test for the next version. Or in this version. No, wait, I'm going to work this first version first. For every single entity created, there will be a controller to add, remove, and get data from there. The architecture for the HTTP communication will be the REST IP pattern. The architecture for the HTTP communication will be REST IP pattern. Okay. And title. I have to remove this. There is nothing here. I can remove it. Okay, I think this is all for today. I have to keep working the version 0.2. Version 0.1 I haven't tagged yet. It has a V tag. That's true. I have to tag it. Consultation room controllers. Where could I get? Okay. Remote origin main. Other properties to consultation room. Okay, this is part of in main version 0.1. Wait, what changes did this have? Consultation room? Yes, this is the version 0.1. Version 0.1. Um, this is not initially separate. This is backend backend update. Backend update of project. Backend initialization of the project. This is the first version, of course. Now the changes. MIS context. Change wire. A new constructor. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. No way, a new constructor. I don't need this. The startup. What is this? Added? I think I didn't add anything. Yeah, I think I can just avoid this thing. Added new consultation room controller to handle HTTP requests on the controllers and the controller requests and the consultation room entities. Push. Okay, and that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Tomorrow I'm going to keep updating this project. It's really slow. I mean, this is normally how software development would be if you're not working with a kind of project daily basis. Okay, I haven't touched EF Core some months ago, I think, but that doesn't mean that I didn't know how to handle it. I had projects in EF Core before, but you have to review and check the documentations again to exactly know where to start again. And because you already checked those, your mind already knows where to which keywords you have to use to Google, right? Because EF Core, for example, checking the official documentation, that's really important in the language you already know. I mean, for example, I can say this, I can watch this in English, but just because it defaults to Spanish, I just use it. But Normally I use documentation in English. I think it defaults to Spanish because my operating system is in Spanish. I should change it. Mm-mm-mm. What else? Documentations, entity framework core tools, the licenses. This is really important stuff that I don't really understand at all. But they all open source projects should have a license actually, and I think I choose the good one. I'm not sure. I think EU General Public License. I think this is the one I needed. But there was I mean, the GNU Affero. This is for servers. This is for servers. I mean, this is for GN designed specifically to secure the cooperation of the community in the case of software that runs in web servers. Hmm. I think I choose the good one, but I'm not sure. Whatever. Uh, Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, or I mean, this is really boring stuff. How software development looks like. I think I'm not in any means the most professional software development out there. Of course, there are people that already understand 100% what they do in on the netcore environment. But those people, of course, they work different projects on .NET Core always. So if you choose a programmer that already knows a lot of stuff, but they have to start a project in an entirely different framework, of course they're going to struggle a little to start the project. But later after the first days, they would have a working project, right? And also I haven't worked that much. This this has been 5 hours. I think 5 hours, three hours from the past video, and this video makes 2 hours. So I haven't really finished a working whole working schedule, right? And my mind isn't really that born. I haven't burned it a lot. Yeah, I feel really comfortable. From the hours from yesterday, I was like, meh. I could program more, but it was really late night, so I wouldn't do that. And today I feel like I handled this project good enough, I think. And using the Pomodoro really works really well. I mean, it makes wonders for your mind because you avoid burnout really well with Pomodoro. With a Pomodoro, you have to. It actually takes your mind out of the focus just to make sure that you're not overthinking anything, right? Because, for example, in this video, I had a drug component entity. I was about to create that entity, but later I think, wait, but doctors actually doesn't. I mean, they know the components of the drugs, of course, but they don't have to register that. They're not labs, and they just actually just buy the drugs, check the components, but they're more focused on the name of the drug itself or the main components, of course. But they don't have to write exactly every single component, okay? Because they don't have time for that. If a patient just says, "I'm what was the name? I have an allergy for penicillin." Well, the doctor just will check the drug itself. Maybe he doesn't even remember if he has penicillin or not. He checks if he has penicillin, where I have this other option which doesn't have the penicillin. So whole I think I avoided creating a table in this SQL Server database. What else? We have the doctor illnesses. I'm very interested with with this table. Maybe I could check an API to check the aliases. I mean to record the aliases here. I'm not sure if there is an API for that, but I'm very interested for this. Maybe aliases exist, maybe not, I'm not sure. Let me check, I'm interested with this. Illness API public. This is medical APIs. Alright, my health box. Access to the largest database of medicine and healthcare products. What? They already exist. Endless medical API. From patient symptoms and results diagnosis. Free to use in 2020. It not only has symptoms but also allows finding testing. It has standard functions like next best step in diagnosis. We are looking for beta testers for whom we prepare goodies like lifetime free access to the key of API functionalities. Hey, I could use any of this. Better doctor and provided data. Easy to implement API that delivers quality data on the doctor and practice information to you need. Malnutrition score. 2 years ago. Update feature. Updates value of a feature. Product documents. Get document URL. COVID-19 by IP Ninjas. Drug patient watch. Contains deep analytics on pharmaceutical drugs and patents. FDA NDC directory. Final drug information about the drug. The National Drug Code NDC level. Many disease prediction. That drug will your physical condition. This is amazing. I should check out some of this. Updated medical. What's the source actually? Endless medical API feature. I would like to know the source of this data. Lucas Kiljanek allows your users to pricing. Of course it has pricing. It doesn't even exist. Well, the API exists itself. This is physical symptom checker. Pre-diagnosis patients trash to specialty. Well, this is not really. I'm not really
What is
comfortable with
endless
this.
medical?
I'm not really comfortable with this. I'm not going to work 25 minutes more. So get out of my sight. I want to check what the hell is this. uh, Alright, I leave it. I'm going to ignore this for now. This is everything. Thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.